Good morning and happy Tech Friday, SA. My name is Samantha Barnard. I'm the Deputy Director of Pombana Tech, and I'm sure you all know by now that we are responsible for administering the Tech Soup in Southern Africa program. We've just gone live on Facebook, so hi to our Facebook friends that are watching. We're also live on Twitter Periscope. Good morning, hello, happy Friday to our Twitter community. And then, of course, we're also live streaming on YouTube. So thank you to all that are watching us on YouTube. Today's session is all about powerful nonprofit PowerPoint presentations. And it ties into our November theme, which has been about sharing resources related to the Microsoft Cloud offering. And I hope many of you know that PowerPoint is a Microsoft product, and it's one that many NGOs are using for their presentations. And today's session is just to give you some tips in terms of how to create effective and streamlined presentations using PowerPoint, and then to also discuss with you how to use that with your different virtual presentations. So just some housekeeping before I get started in the presentation. A couple of important notes that I want to share with everybody. The first is that earlier this week, we as Pombana, we announced the Pombana COVID-19 Recovery Project in partnership with our funder TechSoup, and that's TechSoup based in the USA. It's an amazing opportunity for nonprofits in South Africa to apply to receive a hardware and a software starter kit. Now, the amazing news about this is that you will, if eligible and if successful, receive a brand new laptop from us. We're going to preload it with all of the software that your nonprofit will need. We're also going to provide you with a free website, some Google Ads application assistance, and some ad creation, some Sage accounting, and then added onto that is 10 TechSoup courses. So through this funding opportunity and through this grant, not only will we provide your nonprofit, if eligible and if successful, with a device, a brand new device, we're also going to guide you through the digital transformation journey and also through the software as well. So please do go onto our Pombana Tech page, have a look at the call for applications. Applications will be closing at midnight on the 30th of November, and our team is actively going through applications as we speak. Added on to that, because December is just around the corner, I just wanted to give everybody a bit of a important notice that our offices will be closing down during the December period. You can keep following us on social media. We will announce those dates soon, but we will still have an email support system available for anybody in Southern Africa for you to email us. Myself and Arnold will be on the other side of that email. And as much as we also need some time off, we will check that email about once a day. So those are two very big housekeeping notes. Now, for the duration of this, I'm going to be behind the slideshow like this. I'm still here, but I'm going to talk you through 10 tips for powerful nonprofit PowerPoint presentation. So tips 1, 2, and 3 on your screen is as follows. Start with your sticky notes. It's very important that before you start creating a slideshow, you actually do some planning. A really good tip is to sit down with your sticky notes and almost use your sticky notes as a slide, and very briefly, because of the size of the sticky note, write down some of your ideas to help with your planning. That leads into tip number 2, which is to not overload your slides. You want to make it as easy as possible for people following your presentation to understand what you're saying. You also don't want them to read too much what is on the screen. You want them to hear what you're saying to them, and you want to guide them with a couple of keyword prompts on your slides. And then tip number 3 also leads into that, and that is that you must question each and every single slide that you've created. By that, what I mean is, after you've created your sticky notes and you've done your keyword planning, ask yourself whether each slide supports that outcome that you're wanting to achieve. Sometimes you might be using language that you best understand, but you may need to simplify it for your audience, and you can actually do that on each slide. Tips 4, 5, and 6 are use a consistent format. So as you can see on screen, my slide looks exactly the same, and you get to understand the branding. You get to see that we phase into a different slide, but it looks the same, if I can call it that. And it's very important to keep a consistent format into all of your slide designs. Tip number 5 is to appeal to emotion. You know, when you are trying to present something very, very important, you shouldn't view it as a debate session. So you don't exactly want your delegates or people viewing your slideshow to debate with you, but you do want to use it as a persuasive medium. And in doing that, slides that work really well, that appeal to emotion, they include photos that tell a story, they use simple language, and they use very, very engaging colors. Now, important about that is if you don't have photos, please go and look for some high quality, free to use stock images. Don't just, pull images off a Google image search. And you can use stock image sites like Unsplash or Pixels or Pixabay to do that as well. Point number 6, or tip number 6, is to keep your data visualizations very, very simple. Now, we know in the nonprofit hemisphere, infographics, case studies, white papers always work, but for your PowerPoint presentations, you want to keep those data visualizations very simple. One of the major reasons is if you've got a very big infographic in size to put onto a slide, it may make the text or the numbers very, very small for your delegates to view. So just keep that in mind when wanting to pull through data as a visualization mean. Tips number 7, 8, and 9 is to consider transitions. So what I mean by this is if you use a certain transition from slide 1 to slide 2, try and use that same transition for the remainder of your slideshow. You don't want to have too many different transitions. You want to keep a good flow, simplify it as much as possible, and that'll help keep your delegates or people viewing your presentation PowerPoint with you and on the same page. Added to that, you don't want to be all out with your animations. Please do limit your animations. Reason for that is that sometimes animated items on your slides can easily break the cadence of your presentation. So you need to make sure that if you do have animations on each slide, it easily streamlines and it transitions into one another so that you're not consistently having to click on a slideshow to show the animation at the right time. You could possibly miss that transition, or you could even miss your own timed animations, and then it won't make sense if you're actually viewing the PowerPoint presentation on the other side. So please do limit your animations. Tip number 9 is to break for questions before the end. So a rule of thumb is if your presentation is more than 5 minutes long, your audience will likely have key questions along the way. So make sure that you include breaks in between your slides. You can even be creative and you could create a PowerPoint slide that just says, we're pausing for Q&A right now. And then you must make sure that you do allocate enough time to help keep your audience engaged and to spur further thinking on the subject. So do stop, pause, ask for questions, collect questions, and then actually answer them before the end of your session. And then very, very lastly, tip number 10 is to always rely on your notes. So one of the really cool features of PowerPoint is that you can include speaker notes on your presentation, and we do urge you to please, please, please use that. The reason why is that you want to keep text out of your slides as much as possible. You don't want to overwhelm people that are looking at your presentation at the same time as what you're presenting. For example, right now you can see on screen, I have just a limited amount of text, but I'm speaking to you quite fluently about the actual tip. And the way that I do that is I'm using my presenter view for my slideshow, and I've actually put my presenter notes where I can read it and you can't see it on the other side of the screen. And that just helps to keep your attention. It helps you to jot down your notes, and it also helps to keep your audience engaged with you at all times. So there you have it. In true fashion with Tech Friday SA, we've tried to keep it very short, very sweet, very simple. I do encourage you to please reach out to us on the contact details on your screen. Please ask us about how to access PowerPoint for your nonprofit. We have 2 versions available. One is donated and one is discounted. So please do send us an email on techsoup@pambana.org.za or give us a call on our landline, or you can go onto our dedicated Microsoft website, which is csp.pambana.org.za, and our team can help you better understand which version of PowerPoint should you get. Should you maybe apply? Let me just bring myself back on screen. Should you maybe apply for the heavily discounted version of PowerPoint? And how does that application process work? Or should you actually go for the heavily donated version of PowerPoint? Our team can most definitely assist you. So in the description of this particular video, I've listed a link. If you do want to go over the 10 points that I've just detailed, we have got a blog post for you. We also shared it earlier on this week on our social media accounts. So there is a version ready for you to copy and paste, to print out, to download. But I do encourage you to please give this video a like. Let me know that you're here. And also tell me, what other Tech Friday sessions should we host? During December, we're going to take a little bit of a break from Tech Friday as we start wrapping up 2020 and getting prepared for 2021. But we most definitely will still be accepting any and all of your recommendations for these sessions. So, important reminder, if you have not yet applied and you are a nonprofit in South Africa and you would love to apply for the opportunity to receive a brand new laptop from us, including all the software that you could possibly need as a nonprofit, as well as digital transformation training, which includes certification, a website, Google Ads, and Sage Accounting, please go over to Pambana. I will post a link down below just after this session, and I do encourage you to apply because that funding opportunity is going to be closing at midnight on the 30th of November. Until I see you next week for next week's Tech Friday session, I do hope you're all well. Wear a mask, social distance, and as always, contact us on the information if you need any assistance with your donated or discounted software. Take care now.